Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have Justin McAuliffe on, and I'm excited about this one because, as you all know, my background is accounting and finance, so it's always good to talk to people who are changing the perspective and changing the way people look at accounting and finance, and that is exactly what Justin is doing. So, Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Justin, people have just heard that your background is accounting and finance, but can you fill us in? Tell us a little bit more about, your professional background before you started your own firm.
Yeah, sure. So my story in accounting begins in 2005. I graduated with SUNY Binghamton. That year, I started working at a mid-sized accounting firm in Manhattan doing auditing, which is testing of financial statements, assurance. Basically, it's assuring investors that an Enron type fraudulent activity does not happen. That's basically what audit is. It came around Enron and all of the financial fraud, and it sounds exciting, except it's not, unless you do it the way I do it. Hey, lad, hold on one sec. So, what it's not exciting, but what was valuable of it was the experience. Hold on, Lila. Okay, hold on one sec.
I want to sit with you and watch my thing.
Okay, why don't you sit over here? Sorry, Taro.
No, you're fine, man.
You're gonna yeah, just sit over there. Where you want to sit? You want to sit right there? Yeah, go sit. Sit right there. So, I'm that's 2005. 2005 is when my career started. I did 5 years in audit. I didn't like audit. I wanted to learn how to do tax returns. I felt like that was a more valuable approach to the career. I went to a small firm here on Long Island. I learned how to do tax returns. I learned how to do bookkeeping. I learned basically the small business aspect of accounting, how to run an accounting firm and how to service your regular small mom and pop shops. The small firm I was at supported my exam. I passed my exam, got my CPA, went on to bigger and better and a big mid-sized firm, national firm. Was there for 3.5 years after the small firm stint, where I really learned how to do tax returns. I really learned how to be an accountant, and it really enhanced and sharpened all my skills. Throughout my career, I always felt that there was a disservice in the bookkeeping realm. I always felt that the books and records were very poor in terms of what we were getting from our clients, whether it be an internal accounting team, whether they had it outsourced themselves, or whatever it might be. I recall even as early in 2005, auditing financial statements is essentially auditing bookkeeping. It's auditing a general ledger to make sure there's no fraud. And over time, I realized that folks don't know how to do it. And I'm not exactly sure why it happened, but all I know is that my work continuously involved tying out trial balances, tying out balance sheets, changing, fixing errors, fixing mistakes, unplugging things, etc. And that was pretty consistent through my 5 years at Anshin, 3.5 years at Berman, 3.5 years at Cohn Resnick, all big firms, all big public accounting firms. And the bookkeeping was very, very poor. I always felt that we had an opportunity as an accounting profession to offer quality financial statements, quality books and records, especially when I saw the time and effort and energy that I was putting in to the final product, which was the tax return, was enormous, far in excess of what we were getting as a fee. We're collecting $20,000 on engagements where we're racking up 120, 130, $150,000 in time. Carol, it's insane. And I'm working till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And that current climate in accounting has not changed. These kids are still grinding, but it is a common form of slavery from my perspective because we are working for free. That's what we're doing. We're just sitting here plugging away, hitting that code, hitting that code, hitting that code. And what's the partner doing? Writing it off, writing it off, writing it off, because they're never going to collect it. And the reason why they're never going to collect it is because the accounting industry as a value-added service provider is not at the level of, I guess, awareness as it should be in the marketplace. Folks know they need accountants. Folks know that they need bookkeepers. Folks know that they need to get their taxes done. They just don't know what a quality professional is. And over those years, understanding all of that, figuring out at one point that I was going to try to attack the bookkeeping market specifically because of all those things I just said, It didn't work out, unfortunately, because I didn't want to start my own brand. I felt very insecure that I could do it on my own. I felt very unsafe. I felt very unprepared. I was not confident that I could do it. But I got fired at my last job, and it didn't really leave me much of a choice. So I kind of got a little kickstart, and it was either go back into corporate or give this CPA Enterprises idea that I've been running with for the last 10 years, give it a real shot. And that's what I decided to do. I'm focusing on growing CPA Enterprises as a firm that is built on pristine books and records. It's a bookkeeping company, but we are accountants, and we account for the money, because as accountants, Harold, as you know, we're responsible for the money. We are money doctors. That general ledger is the inside of your body, the veins, the capillaries, the tendons, all of that stuff inside your body, that a doctor takes care of you. If you have a business, you need a CPA, an accountant, to take care of you, because that inside of your business, those are your numbers. That's your performance. That's how you know you did last week, last month, last year. What are your analytics? Are you spending too much money on things? Maybe you're not spending enough money. Maybe not making as much money as you think, and that's usually how it goes. Yeah. And that led me to here. And last three years now, I'm coming up on 3 years in September. Obviously, I'm a CPA. I understand bookkeeping. I'm not afraid of oh, you're a bookkeeper, as if that's some kind of degrading word for a professional. From my perspective, I think it's something we should hold proud, because not a lot of accountants know how to book a journal entry. Not a lot of accountants know how to tie out a balance sheet, an amortization schedule, rolling retained earnings. And that's what I do now. That's what CPA Enterprises has built on. My team understand. The only thing that I need to know when you come on my team is if you can book a journal entry. And if you can book a journal entry, then the rest I can teach you. And I haven't looked back. We have a team of 4 full-time people now, including myself. And it's strictly around focusing on small businesses, providing monthly work, at least monthly, sometimes weekly, but at least monthly. And it's just writing up the books, writing up the prior year activity, staying on top of the cash, staying on top of the credit cards, following up with the clients, informing them of their money that they're spending. Business owners don't pay attention to their bank account. They just look to see how much is in there, and then they go and make a decision, but they don't know anything that's behind it. And that's what we've been doing. It's hard, man. It's really hard to change people's perception. It's really hard to deliver value to an industry where predominantly it's been dominated by big players such as TurboTax and H&R Block. And I've worked with people from all those places, Bench.co. Then it's not good. It's not good. There's no professional. It's like going to a doctor's office and finding out there's just one real medical doctor there, and the rest are either PAs or people that are pretending to be doctors. Yeah. And this accounting industry has adapted and has allowed folks to just come on in, pretend to be an accountant, deliver this information to the clients, and the clients are confused. You know this, man. Tax returns aren't hard. It's really freaking easy to do, and everyone should be doing them on their own. Bookkeeping themselves, it's not that difficult. Accounting is hard. Thinking analytically, being present with your clients as they swipe their credit card at the point of sale system, and making sure that you're staying in their business. They're working on their business. As an accountant, we need to work in the business. We need to be at that point of sale system, looking at those numbers, understanding how their behaviors are going to dictate how their business runs. And it all starts with the money. And that's the long and short of it. It's focused on that specific policy, which is no BS, pristine financials, perfect bookkeeping, no tax season. That's the best part. There's no real tax season. I don't grind the tax season, man. My stuff's done in January. My stuff's done in February. The only reason why it lingers is because clients take too long to get your stuff. Yeah. Or I'll get messes that I get to clean up during the year. Other than that, all my clients, we're done January and February. Wow. There's no reason not to be.
That's pretty good. And I think that reminds me of when I was early days of being in audit, where I was on a client and we were talking, it was I guess a mid-sized business, and we were talking to the CEO of the business, and I think him and my senior manager were having a conversation, and I heard the CEO say, yeah, I kind of understand, the accounting team is a necessary evil, to where it's just like, man, it really made me think like, wow, the way accounting is being done and approached, it's not really adding the value to where business owners and CEOs actually see that, hey, this is a valuable part of us hitting our goal or a valuable part of us running our business. So I totally agree with you on that aspect.
It is, and they've always looked at it, Terrell, like that. They've always looked at it as a commodity because nobody's been able to read the information. And that's the thing. That's the problem, man. Right? Is because it's only been a commodity. Nobody has ever respected the audit team or the tax team because nobody's talking to them the way I talk to them. Nobody is sitting down with them, and that's the problem. If we have accountants just sat down and read these financial statements to the team, to the board of directors, to management, you will quickly see how valuable you really are. They all want that. They all want it. It's just they don't realize that we're able to do it because some of our teams are so damn big, we don't even have a proper set of books and records. How can a partner on an accounting team read financial statements when it's made up of journal entries?
Yeah.
It's all journal entries. It's all journal entries. You're just plugging it. You're just posting it. You're just making it tie. You're just making it look like whatever the balance sheet shows. There's no information. And when you approach it that way, Terrell, that's exactly correct. You're not going to be anything other than the fact that I need this for my bank loan or I need this for my investors. You need it to run your business. How do you even know if you're running efficiently? How much money are you leaving on the table? Did you even think about tax planning? Have you even considered looking at different software you can implement into your system so you can become more efficient? That's the best part. Growing a firm, growing an accounting firm in 2020, all of these cool little technologies and softwares and all these awesome things that I get to buy, and because I'm full responsible, so I get to buy all of it. It's great. I don't have to ask a boss or ask a partner, hey, this tool might make us more efficient. Well, how much is it? Did you hear what I said? This tool might make us more efficient. It's not about how much it is. It's going to make us more efficient. It could be $100 million. That's going to make us more efficient. The answer is we should do it because it's going to save us money. But accountants, risk adverse, it's like we're in this risk adverse business. But meanwhile, like our clients want us to give them risk. Like they want us to help them bend the rules, not break, take appropriate approaches. The tax code is tremendous. GAAP is tremendous. Sarbanes-Oxley, SARS. I mean, there's a ton of rules and regulations. I've been doing this 15 years. I can't regurgitate one of them. I mean, the basics, right? But, I mean, come on. I mean, that's what our guys did, man. That's what our bosses did. They had to memorize all this stuff. You and I can Google it. Yeah. I can just Google it. That's it. Very simple. All I got to do is Google it. Am I breaking the law? No. All right. Can I bend this rule? I don't know. Well, let's see. Let's go look up the rule. How do you interpret the rule? Well, then you sit down for a half an hour, you interpret the rule, and you make a decision. You document it and you move forward in your life. And that's value. Just delivering a piece of paper with a tax return with some number at the end that you're going to either get refunded or have to pay, nobody cares. Yeah. That's why H&R Block has gone into this industry and they're charging $300, $400, $500, $600 a tax return, and people don't even realize it, and they think refunds are great. Yeah, I'm here to change that perception. Refunds are terrible. Refunds are interest-free loans to the government. Everybody's paying attention to these sensitive times that are going on, and money, money, money. The government sucks. The government. All right, well, you're still giving them money all year for free with no questions asked. Not even thinking about what it could possibly mean for you and your family. People rely on that tax refund as if it was a paycheck. That's insane to me. They're not giving you any interest. You could have had that $500 a month in your pocket to pay down your own bills, which means you don't have to pay credit card expense. Yeah. And that money just gets diluted. All of a sudden, that $500 you could have had in January, you're not going to get until the following March. It's going to be $6,000. But that $500 you could have used to pay down credit cards. You could have bought yourself something nice that would have made you happy and a little self-care. You could have invested in, bought Apple stock or Amazon. It would have become more money. Anything to give it to you and not to them. You're giving it to them. They're going to go use it to buy tanks and guns and all this other stuff. Now, you're going to use it.
I was going to question on that one. Now, as you talk about, that's really a big mindset change for people to really, like, how do you find, as you're trying to help people understand accounting and finance and tax differently, how do you find that they respond to you? Like, are they kind of deer in the headlights? Does it take a lot of hammering to the point till they get it? Or do some people actually like, hey, that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm going to say for the most part, it's the latter. It just depends. Well, there was three parts there. It makes sense. But it depends on how long it takes to get there. right? The Great Awakening, everyone talking about, right? This is kind of part of it in a way, because people, like you said, this social conditioning, this programming we have in us on what tax refunds are. When I explain it that way and I dive in and answer questions, it's a pretty consistent across the board, 100% even, that they get it. It's just, how painful is it going to be for me to deliver that information to you? And the problem as accountants is that it doesn't matter I have a CPA, doesn't matter I have a license, doesn't matter I studied hard for the exam and worked my ass off and keep up with it each and every year and been doing this for 15 years. I can be doing this for 15,000 years, and I'll get the same level of respect from my family and friends that I do today, which is zero, because they all think I'm an idiot. They don't think I don't know what I'm talking about, because this is going against completely what they've been programmed for their entire lives. It's cognitive disassociates, as they call it. It's very difficult to deliver information to people and give them a package and say, this tax refund that you got, it's bad. Meanwhile, they've been told by H&R Block and everybody over the last decades of their life, get your billions back, America, refunds, refunds, refunds. But when you break it down, money, because that's what we do, right, Terrell? We are money doctors. We are money managers. We are money guides. I am fluent in money language. It's a universal global language. I'm fluent in it. And when you explain it to people that way, they do eventually get it. The problem is that I'm the one doing it, and I shouldn't have to be doing it. Yeah. We know milk is good for you, high in protein, good saturated fats, does the body good, good bones. The Got Milk campaign was spread across this whole country for a long, long time, and every dairy farmer in the country benefited from that.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you have a union. That's because you have a group of people that you're supposed to pay each and every year to advocate for your profession. Not only do we have that, they don't do it, the AICPA, that's the whole national, but then we have state societies and state boards. But none of these guys are doing that either. Why does H&R Block and Intuit TurboTax, hold on, Lila, hold on. Why does Intuit TurboTax and H&R Block have the audacity to go out and market to our customers and tell them fabrications on what our service really is? It has nothing to do with the refund. I can get you all your money back. If you don't want to pay income tax, I can do that for you in 2 seconds. It's fraud, it's breaking the law, and it's criminal, and you'll probably go to jail. But at the end of the day, I know what I have to do to sign a tax return. Okay. And if you're going to tell me that all this stuff is real and you're going to document it, then I'm going to believe you. I'm going to be suspect. But hey, man, I mean, you're the big boy and girl. It's your tax return. Mm-hmm. Why do they tell us a refund is good? Well, that fits their narrative. That fits their pocketbook. And we just went through COVID, or still are, and lockdown and stimulus package, Terrell, right? The stimulus package. The freaking H&R Block and TurboTax of the world love to hammer down that refund advantage. You can't wait. You're not going to hire Justin or Terrell, real accountants that are going to give you that money all year long, maybe even write a check at tax time. Like you said, I mean, think about that mentality. All of a sudden, you're going to work with me, and now you're going to have to write a check. That's my job, to explain to you that that check is so much less on that day because of me. It's just you weren't paying attention to it, and that's where we have to come in and pay attention to it, because the refund advantage scam that we have now is now telling taxpayers that you've waited now all this time. You don't want to wait another 6 weeks, right? Well, guess what? I can give you that money today. I'm going to give you that in my bank account, because H&R Block, they're just good people. They're just nice guys. They're just going to give you their money. And then they're going to wait for the IRS. Don't worry. Well, we can wait. We got billions in the bank, so this cash flow don't matter to us. Me taking advantage of you, well, that's a big deal for me, because now I can sell you a crappy tax return, plus charge you a ridiculous fee to get your money even faster. Meanwhile, you could have had it last year. Meanwhile, a real accountant, a real CPA, somebody that really gives a crap about people's money as if it was their lifeline, would never, ever advise you to spend more money for something if you didn't need to. But each and every one of those blockheads do this. And what happened with stimulus check time, as you know, Darrell, this is all routing numbers and a bank numbers. Routing bank number, right? We have that on our tax returns. That's how we get direct deposits. That's how we pay our bills. Mm-hmm. But when the stimulus checks came, they were also dependent on people's tax returns. Well, what about those that use Refund Advantage? What do you mean, Justin? Well, I just explained to you what Refund Advantage was. H&R Block's giving you their money, right? They're going to wait for the IRS to give you they're going to wait for your money. They're going to get it from the IRS, which means the IRS has H&R Block's banking and routing number. They don't have your banking and routing number. So when the stimulus checks went out, guess who just got billions of dollars from the government? Refund Advantage folks, such as H&R Block and TurboTax. Meanwhile, and I got to pause real quick, these mothers, the IRS is suing these guys. Can you imagine this? This is the world we're living in right now. All this other stuff going on. Nobody's even paying attention to this. I can't wait to bring this out to the mainstream. Are you guys kidding me? If we're all going to be a woke nation right now, let's just put it all on the table. Because the IRS is suing H&R Block and TurboTax, I think. All right, I'm coming right now. They're suing them. Terrell, for using their free product. The IRS offers free tax files. Could you imagine being a company that's suing somebody or being mad at a friend or anything like that? And it's the IRS. These guys are cheating. H&R Block and Intuit, they're cheating. They're selling stuff that they shouldn't be selling, but they're so much more rich and powerful than me. Gotcha. That I can't get through the legal system and figure out even how to beat these guys. Oh yeah, by the way, I just sent them billions of dollars because we decided to shut down the country. And yeah, just wait till the country gets a wind of that. They're getting all pissed off about finding out these big corporations got PPP money and all this stuff. And oh, Trump's connected to just wait till you find out that the real money that really mattered went to these big corporations. Okay, just wait until that gets out, because if it ever does, and who knows if it ever will, but it should, because you should know that the people that you're going to prepare the tax return, the people that you're supposed to be paying hate them and are suing them, but we're still going there, which is it's just more. I mean, how is the AICPA not all over this? Yeah. How are the state society? I'm in New York. How are the state societies not all over this? How is nobody advocating? Right? Why do I have to come on Terrell's show and explain to you what an accountant and a CPA really is? Why is one of the first questions, and he knew it, was the pain that I have to go behind explaining to people what a tax refund really is? Why am I doing that? That should be basic knowledge. We complain in this country about kids not knowing how to write checks and open up bank accounts. I mean, we have rappers and athletes and entertainers that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. These guys go broke. Anthony Walker is a great example of that. He's one of my favorite ones. I mean, because he went broke quicker than anybody, and that man is broke. And I feel terrible about his story, because you hear all of that, and these guys got nothing because they got taken advantage of, because we as humans are petrified of this stuff. We are so willing to just succumb and give this to anybody, even if you're lying to me, even if you're ripping me off, even if you're not providing me the most value that I feel like I can, as long as you just take it off my plate so I don't have to think about it. Meanwhile, we're all depressed. We're all anxious. We hate our jobs. We work 40 hours a week. 30% of that's going to the government. You ask no questions. You don't even have an interest in participating in the preparation of your tax receipts. This is what you're working for all year. You blindly give your employer, who you hate also. You don't even like your job, but you have authorized them for whatever reason, because that's what we've been socially conditioned to do. You get your W-4 and you get your job, and how much do I withhold? I want to get a bigger shake. I want to get a bigger refund. I don't want to get a big refund. I want a bigger paycheck. I've been down that mentality road before, so I certainly understand it. But here we go. You got an employer. You don't like them, but you've just authorized them to withhold your money from your paycheck and give it to another group of people you don't like, the government. But zero questions get asked, homie. What the F? How is that even possible? You were there grinding, stressed, pissed, upset, happy, whatever it might be, missing family stuff, whatever it might be. But you got to pay the tax, man. You can't just stick your head in the ground.
Yeah. And now when we talk about value, what are the services that your firm offers? So like if someone was saying like, you know what, I want to hire Justin's firm, what services would they be hiring you for?
So basically what that's right. My deal is bookkeeping, Terrell. bro.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna hire me to be. You're gonna hire me to be your money guide, to be your small business money guide. I'm gonna make sure that you are successful because you're gonna focus on working on your business while I work in it, and starts
Gotcha.
with the monthly bookkeeping. That's it. Bank accounts, credit cards, processed, written up. Everything else that happens after that, it's all based on timely reporting.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, where can people find you online, or where can they find you on social media?
So I am pretty findable. CPA Enterprises PC is the name of our company. You can Google that and a lot will come up. www.cpa.enterprises is our website. www.cpa.enterprises. There's no .com, there's no .co or .org or anything like that. It is just straight up domain .enterprises. www.cpa.enterprises. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, at CPA JMac is my handle, or you can just McAuliffe, McAuliffe, Justin McAuliffe. That's me.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, before we wrap up, one question that I like to ask every guest that comes on is, when you think about, your journey in building your firm and building your business, what is one piece of advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs, and like, hey, this is something you should keep in mind as you're building?
Hey, let's think about this. So you got to grind it on your own, and you got to hire people to do the things that you don't like to do. Too many people start going sweat and they stay sweat equity forever. You got to spend money. People ask me, oh, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? I hire people. And they're like, oh my God, you can afford that? When you spend money, you make money. And if you have, I'm an accountant for crying out loud, and I understand that. So you got to, this fear's got to be turned off. You're going to fail. You're going to lose money. You're going to waste money. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Nobody's made more mistakes in business than I have. Nobody's wasted more money than I have. But the best part is that you and your listeners, my clients, people that follow me and work with me, they get the benefit from those mistakes because, well, you don't make them again. And that's my job. So, the one piece of advice, you got to hire an accountant. You got to hire a marketer. You got to have people around you. I mean, you got to pick a couple of people that can do things you're not good. Now, maybe you're good at the marketing, then great, do it. And then maybe you're good at the accounting, then that's great, do it. You understand the value. You need rabbis, you need guides, you need people along your side, and you got to pay them. You can't get stuff for free. Granted, you can get a lot of my stuff for free. I mean, I have tons on social media. I mean, clients pay me for things that I give away for free on social media, but because you want to get it from the goose and the on-demand consulting. But that's it. Don't be afraid to spend money. Don't be afraid to waste money. As long as you're a serious professional and a serious business owner, you will always benefit from that, because at minimum, call it tuition, call it education, right? Because you spent a ton of money in college. Nobody's batting an eye at the $100,000 you owed on student loans, but you're going to bat an eye at a $500 engagement to just get a legitimate marketer or an accountant on your team.
Awesome. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show. And thanks for sharing all your links of where people can find you. Really appreciate the perspective and the wisdom that you shared.
Sure, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for your patience. I know it was a little bit of a distracting one. So thanks for having me, and we'll definitely talk again soon. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to click the subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms as the Business Talk Library.